Capital utilization. There's a number of different types of capital that you have as a human being. Your time is one of them. Your focus, your energy, your emotion, those are other capitals. Your money, those are capitals. First one, do not start impractical tasks. I can't tell you how many people come to me with pipe dreams. They want to do something that's completely outside of their wheelhouse, like something that's not realistic for who they are, not realistic for their connections, not realistic for their education level or their intellectual ability or their experience. You will expend too much capital doing things that you don't have any business doing. So don't start in practical tasks. Secondly, capital utilization, like how to use your money. I highly recommend that you stop paying rent as soon as possible because rent is significantly more expensive than mortgage. You should ideally own the roof over your head. However, I want to make this very clear, and I don't care how rich, wealthy, well off you are. I recommend your owner occupied house is modest in the best neighborhood you can get into. It's a modest house in a great neighborhood. By great neighborhood, I mean it's a well established neighborhood with a good reputation, like, say, Summerlin. Or it's a brand new neighborhood, like with new constructions, like, say, Southern Highlands, where you know the property value is going to go up because they're going to throw up gas station here, a mall there, food place there, In-N-Out, Starbucks here, and everything's brand new. So invariably, the property value is going to rise up and the population is going to rise up and the demand is going to rise up. So you want to be in a well-established, great neighborhood with a modest house, or a brand new neighborhood with a modest house. And, well, Marquette, why do you say modest? The reason I say modest, when you look at celebrities or athletes, when they start to go broke, you know what the first thing they usually do is? They sell their mansion. Yeah, they sell their mansion because it was their dumbest purchase, not because real estate is bad. Real estate is great. But it turns out that it's kind of hard to sell 10-bedroom houses because most people don't have a practical need for a 10-bedroom house. So in a macroeconomic downturn, mansions are hard to maintain because the economy's bad, so they're expensive. And if you need to sell it, it's hard to sell at a proper market rate during a downturn because it is not useful to have 10 bedrooms in one single residence. So you should get a modest place so that it's very easy to afford and you can allocate your money to greater things. So if for your home should be modest. I'm not saying that you can't live in a modest house, 5 bedrooms or less, because none of you guys have 6 kids, right? So 5 bedrooms or less, and then you can own a 30-unit apartment building or 50-unit apartment tenement, 100 units, 100 apartments. Yeah. See, it's a difference. You don't live in that. That's drawing in income. Why would you buy a huge house to live in? It's not drawing income at all. It's just a waste. It's greater than a roof. You have too much roof. You want to avoid having too much roof. Invest. Invest with verified doers. The best person you can invest with is the person who does not need you to invest. Every time I see these online gurus, I get extremely suspicious when you see Grant Cardone saying, hey, just buy my real estate course. It's going to cost you $400. I don't even know what he charges. It's going to cost you $400 to buy my real estate course. I'm like, hold on, my boy. If you're making that much money selling real estate, why are you selling a real estate course? If you're making a lot of money selling real estate, why are you selling a real estate course? That's weird to me. There's a lot of such gurus on the internet. They're not doing anything out of like a pure drive to educate you or to make your life better. They're mostly just trying to sweep up a quick buck on someone who doesn't have know-how and savvy. So when you invest, you want to invest with verified doers. And one thing I can tell you about the guys who invested in my businesses, one thing I noticed consistently is that they were investing for like social reasons, like social and fun reasons. I kid you not. Like they were giving me money and they wanted to be friends with me, the entrepreneur. They wanted to help me build up something cool. They were older, they're retired, they have extra time, they're successful, and they want to try out something new, something interesting and fun. Like they didn't need the money. And also, they've already been successful in the industry, so they could offer me help. They're like real doers. And I said, okay. So what I've learned from them is like, if I'm going to invest in something, I want to have enough income to where I don't need the money. Like I'm okay losing the money. And then secondly, I want to invest with people who are doers, like people like this, meaning that they're not saying like, hey, I need your money. So when they would come together, they'd create a syndicate or they'd create a group of investors, group of angel investors. They might pool funds. Like maybe I meet one guy and he says, yeah, Mark, I'll write you a $25,000 check. I'm like, well, I need $250,000 or I need $500,000 in this round. They say, okay, cool. I got a couple buddies. John will do 100,000. So and so will do 80. So and so will do 75. So and so will do 25. His wife wants to become an investor. She'll throw in 10,000. Whatever. Just let her do it. And they put together this group. And these are all doers, and none of them are investing because they need the money. They're investing because they're friends. They like this is something that's a joy. The worst thing you can do is give your money to someone who needs it. It sounds counterintuitive. The worst thing you can do is give your money to someone who needs it. Give your money to someone who will accept it, but they don't need it. They might want it, but they don't need it. And this is kind of how banks operate. Think like a bank. For example, this is what I mean. Pay attention. If you have high credit, right? If you have like an 800 credit score, if you have like a really good credit score, you probably don't need credit. Huh? People who have bad credit scores, these are generally poor people. They generally need credit, but the bank won't give them any. The bank only gives credit to people who don't really need credit. The bank only gives money to people who don't really need money. There's wisdom there. Pay attention to it. I hope that was clear. I might have to go back over that one. Okay, where are we? Yes. This is my favorite part right here. We're going to break some hearts here. Life of the rich. I can't tell you how many lazy kids are telling me that they want to be an entrepreneur so that they don't have to wake up early, so they don't have to be bossed around, told what to do, so that they have a flexible schedule, so they can work remotely, so they could travel the world while they work. Well, mostly that's not what entrepreneurship looks like. Entrepreneurship looks like long hours, looks like managing a lot of people, being responsible for their lives at a level, right? You're paying salaries. They're using their salary to support their family. It's a lot of responsibility, could involve stress, headache. Yes, I've seen people be mentally paralyzed, emotionally paralyzed by being a successful entrepreneur. So I want you guys to understand that the life of the rich, as you might think of it, are people who are well off or financially successful. The idea that they can stop working is completely foolish. And in fact, if they do stop working, they're going to go broke just like you. And part of the sadness of why they're going to go broke is because as their income increases, what they generally do is they buy a bigger house, they buy more cars, faster, exotic cars, luxury cars. And now they have to keep working just to maintain that lifestyle. And that's why the first thing that I told you guys is if you're going to be wealthy, fine, get a house. You should own the roof over your head because it's cheaper than rent, not because you want to own stuff. You really don't, but just because it's cheaper than rent, you're saving money. That's why. And I said, you're going to get a modest house in a great neighborhood, modest house, 5 bedrooms or less. You're not trying to increase your expenses such that you make yourself a slave of your own success, right? You increase your expenses so significantly now that you got a house, you paying $5,000 a month for the house. You got a car, you got 3 cars, you paying $2,000 a month for this lease, $3,000 a month for that lease, because you got to have 2 or 3 cars. You got to switch up, right? You flying around the world, private, semi-private, you got the fancy clothes. Now your expenses are through the roof. You got $30,000 a month in expenses, just in money going out the door. Now you have a problem. And now you have to work. Now working is not a pleasure. You have to work. You might be the boss. You might even be rich. You might be able to call yourself rich, but you're working like a dog. Don't do that to yourself. But do be aware of the reality that you don't get to stop working once you're wealthy. If you stop working, you're going to go broke. Even if you're not overspending, you're going to go broke. You're going to lose because the world keeps going. Inflation occurs. Different things eat away at your wealth. You have to always be increasing your skills and increasing your business efficiency. I'm going to give you 2 examples of how I've done this recently. The first thing that really shocked my system was, number one, I was out buying a new phone because I got employees in South Africa, in Cape Town. And when I go to Cape Town, I like to have multiple phones so that, I could have them keeping the cameras rolling while I'm, doing my lifestyle content, for example. I want the cameras always rolling live. So we need each phone to have phone service. We need the latest phone. So I went to go get the newest iPhones. And they were telling me that, and mind you, I got a ton of SIM cards because I do business in a lot of places. I have banks in different countries. And so I need a SIM card for that country because you can't have a bank account without having a phone number and an address in that country. So I got a bunch of SIM cards, right? So I show up to the Apple store, with a bunch of SIM cards, like, all right, look, I need a couple iPhones and here's my SIM cards connected to these. And they're like, oh, we use eSIMs. What? What's an eSIM? They're like, yeah, it's a eSIM. It's not a physical SIM card. You can have multiple numbers connected to the one SIM card. Now, immediately, admittedly, I'm suspicious, right? I'm suspicious. Like, what kind of government control are y'all trying to sign me up for? I'm suspicious, as you should be. And I'm sure that there's some government control effort behind it. I wouldn't be surprised. But I was really scared and shocked and saddened and disappointed in myself because, like, I grew up in the mobile app business. I'm traveling around the world. I use a lot of phones, a lot of telecommunications. How did I not know about this? I should have knew about this before it even got to market. How did I not know about this? I'm off point. I haven't been increasing my skills. I haven't been increasing my skills and knowledge. This caught me off guard. That's unacceptable. And based on that, I was like, I had one tech business that I've been wanting to work on. I've been working on it slowly. I got to work on it very quickly. I was like, I can't be left behind. I got to get back at this. Got to increase your skills or else you're going to lose. Then the second thing, increase business efficiency. So I said, I'm always thinking long-term. Last time we did the backpack briefcase, we did this beautiful piece right here, the brown one. These babies got sent out quick. That's because we were sending them out from here. I had, my staff on site sending them out. But I said, nah, I need to increase business efficiency. I need to bring in a partner. I need a warehouse. I need formal shipping. We need to do bigger bulk orders. I need to increase efficiency, bring down the per unit cost to me, and also like bring in some good partners who can do the shipping at a better price because we're doing it in bulk and they specialize in that. I don't want to use employees that do other things for shipping. So I'm increasing my efficiency. Now the black backpack briefcase, this one right here, this beauty, well, this one is taking a little longer to ship out. I endured some pain in the short term in terms of dealing with new partners, but in the long term, it'll be better for my business because I've increased efficiency because I'm lowering costs. I'm doing more business. I have more partners and it's going to be overall better for everybody, better for the consumer, better for me as a business. So I'm increasing my business efficiency, even though I don't have to, right? Like I can make good money doing it the way I've already done it, but I still have to figure out how to make incremental improvement, just like I have to make incremental improvement in my knowledge and incremental improvement in my skills, lest I will be left behind. Because just imagine I show up calling myself a mobile app developer, and I didn't even know that the iPhone now has the eSIM. Not to say that has anything to do with my business. It has nothing to do with mobile application development, nothing at all. But all the same, it's something that I should know. And so it was just a wake-up call. You never are done. You have to keep learning and keep growing, or else you're dying. That's when you become old. That's when you become old news.